الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا مولانا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم ربنا أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم أرنا حقائق الأشياء كما هي ربنا زدنا علما وعملا وإخلاصا يا رب العالمين. اللهم انصر أولياءك في مشارق الأرض ومغاربها، اللهم انصرهم على عدوك وعدوهم إنك على كل شيء قدير. اللهم فرج عنا وعن إخواننا في مشارق الأرض ومغاربها، اللهم نفس كربنا وكربهم وثبت أقدامنا وأقدامهم والطف بنا وبهم يا أرحم الراحمين يا رب العالمين. وصل وسلم على سيد الخلق سيد الكونين محمد وآله وأصحابه وأزواجه وذريته أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Okay, so, Kant's conception of time. So Kant's exploration of the problem of time takes place within the parameters of an ancient tradition of thought whose perplexities inform at a distance his critique of modern theories held by Leibniz, Locke, and Newton. Similarly, his views of the existential and moral significance of time is indebted to Christian speculations, and the crucial role played in it by the immortality of the soul and the imputation of responsibility for action. It is, of course, impossible to separate the two dimensions of physical and moral time, even though Kant appears to establish a rigorous distinction between a physical time, as discussed in Critique of Pure Reason, and moral time, as discussed in Critique of Practical Reason. The distinct position on the nature of time held by Plato and Aristotle were extremely significant for the subsequent development of the philosophy of time. Less influential upon the tradition but important for Kant was the position reported to have been held by Epicurus. The medieval reception of ancient debates was further determined by Augustine's reflection on the moral and spiritual significance of time in his Confessions. Put at their crudest, the differences at stake in the various definitions of time involve the relationship between time and eternity on one hand, and between time and motion on the other hand. Okay. Plato followed a Pythagorean strain of argument, which distinguished between limited and unlimited, or infinite time. So finite time, infinite time. In his cosmological dialogue, Timaeus, he speaks of time as moving image of eternity, distinguished between eternal time, which rests in unity, and the time of those states which have and the time of those effects, and the time of those states which affect moving and sensible things, of which generation is the cause. So there's eternal time and there's limited time. While Plato begins with eternal time and sees temporal events as oriented toward it, Aristotle, let's try to understand Plato's conception of time a bit. The distinction between eternity and time. You can call this eternal time if you want. And this is the time as we understand it. The basic difference is you can only understand in the context of Plato's cosmology, or even more his conception of the universe. So, for example, if we take his dialogue, which he is referring to, Timaeus, where Plato explains his cosmology. So in Plato's universe, come into being, universe, not out of nothing. Universe is crafted or fashioned by a being which is similar to God, but different as well. Like, for example, Islamic and Christian God and Jewish God. So Plato's God is basically a craftsman. In Quranic term, you can call it Musawwir. So in Quran, God is also called Musawwir. But he is not just Musawwir, he's Khaliq as well. Plato doesn't have any conception of the Khaliq, neither the whole Greek thought. Conception of creation is very Abrahamic thought, where you talk about creation ex nihilo. This is what we call takhliq, creation. And God is Khaliq in all three Abrahamic religions. Khaliq, creator. But this God of Plato, who he calls Demiurge, is not a Khaliq. He is a craftsman or Musawwir. So he fashions the universe out of the material which is eternal, I think. in Abrahamic religions, God creates the material as well, so that's why he's Khalik, and he then fashions as well. Um, but in Plato's um, conception, this craftsman or this god of his, this demiurge of his, doesn't create it, but he crafts this universe, fashion it from the material it is already given. Now I think there are two types of material. One is the content, matter, maybe, yeah, which is eternal, I think, and the other is forms. They are archetypes or prototypes, forms. So he takes this and this, and he fashions or crafts the universe of these two elements, which are I think eternal. They are already there. So before this creation, you call it, or what's the word, fashioning or craft, crafting. There was no world. What the type of time which was there was eternal. That's what he called eternal, Aristotle. Ion. In this eternal times, there is matter, and I guess there are forms or just forms. Everything is perfect. And perfection for Greeks mean no motion, unchanging. So this eternal time is, there's no motion in this time. So motion is introduced only when this craftsman fashioned the world, our world, according to these perfect forms or archetypes. And this creates motion, because although he fashions the world according to the forms which are perfect, his fashioning is not perfect. They are not the exact copy of the form. If they were the exact copy of form, there would not have been any motion. And with this motion, time is created in our sense, or before that, I'm not sure which. This type of time is chronos. So that's the basic distinction. Our author, what's his name? This discussion of Kant we just read is referring to. Let's go through it again. Plato followed Pythagorean strain of argument which distinguished between limited and infinite time. So, ion or eternal time is infinite time. If it is infinite, uh, um, and then our time chronos, that is limited time. So in his cosmological dialogue, Timaeus, he speaks of time as moving image of. So time, this chronos is a moving image because image of eternity. So because our world is fashioned on that eternal world. But our time is moving because this fashioning is not perfect. So it's the moving image of eternity. It's a dynamic. So it's an image of eternity. It's not eternity itself. So in Republic, you see that he talks about eternity as perfect, and our world is just the shadow of that reality. So distinction between eternal time is rest in unity because there's nothing to change. It's perfect. Everything is interconnected perfectly. And the time of those states which affect moving and sensible things of which generation is the cause affect moving. So time of those states which affect. So once the craftsmen start crafting our universe on the model of the perfect universe, then the whole dynamic thing is set in motion because this is the image of that. It's not the real, and it's not perfect in that sense. So that's the second difference between Plato's God and Christian, Islamic, Jewish God, because Abrahamic God is perfect. He is perfect fashioner or perfect crafter as well, not just perfect creator. Okay, so I think we'll just stop here and we'll continue this probably next time. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك وصلى وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا مولانا محمد وبارك وسلم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله آمين.